the Sony A6600, a 24.2 megapixel APS-C type CMOS sensor. You know what? Let's just talk about the damn thing today. Is it worth it? Who does it cater to? Should you buy it in 2020?
Tell me what you feel like. Tell me, is it real love? Tell me, do you feel the same? Tell me what you feel like. Do you feel what I feel? Is this love a waiting game? Is love a waiting game?
What's up, everybody? It's the BigE. First and foremost, thank you for stopping by today's video. A little Tech Tuesday action with the Sony A6600. To answer any questions right away, I've been using the Sigma 16mm 1.4 on it, the Affordable Rode Video Micro. I use it without this thing typically, but it just, I guess, I don't know, it looks neater. And I do have a rig cage for it, which makes it very convenient for the whole flip screen when vlogging. Today, we're not really talking about just the vlogging setup. If you guys would like a specific vlogging setup video, color correction, what I use for sound and whatnot, let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like on the video. Today, we're just gonna be talking about the A6600 as a whole, who it caters to in terms of the everyday realistic shooter. I think we're moving into that age where, although learning about the device and learning the ins and outs of things, there's a lot of like bloated information out there, and a lot of people just wanna know straight to the point, is this thing good? Is it worth it? And the reality is too, a lot of people grab stuff like this for YouTube content creation, social media, stuff like that. So in terms of that, I don't think a lot of people really want to know the whole high-end professional kind of lingo to things. Some people are interested in those things. So if you want to learn more about the A6600, want to get in depth as an actual professional filmmaker, photographer, go check the links in the description. This probably isn't going to be the video for you. If you're somebody that's just heard about it and you're looking to make that next big upgrade, or you need that nice solid second shooter and you just want to get to the point, this is probably going to be the video for you. So I'm just going to start off and ruin my watch time on YouTube, because this is where a lot of people are just going to tune off after I get done saying this. Is this camera worth it? Yeah, 100% for the cost. It's actually kind of mind-blowing what they put in the Sony A6600 in terms of its full across the board capabilities in comparison to other things. If you're a YouTuber, if you're a full-time content creator, if you're somebody that makes content, then vlogs, and maybe as a streamer as well, and you need that all-around go-to shooter beast. Yes, this thing is actually crazy. I would even say there's probably no need to upgrade and go to full frame, besides one big flaw, and we'll get to that in a second. So if you just want reassurance that this is good and that you should buy it, if you're in the market to buy it, then yes, you should. But I don't believe it is for people starting off by any means, or people that have just recently started off and they're looking for that big entry level. To me, there are too many affordable options right now, you know, just in Sony, in terms of the A6000, A6100, the A6400. There are just so many options that outweigh the needs versus the wants when you're up and coming. But again, if you're in the market and you record a lot and a camera is the majority of your income, yeah, this thing's a tank. So I wanted to talk about my overall experience from this in the last 3 months. I bought this right at the start of the year, and to be honest, I've used this with the majority of my content. If you actually watch a lot of my recent videos, this sit down stuff is actually usually recorded on this, and nobody even knows the difference. A lot of people actually think that I still use my Sony A7R III to do all my sit down stuff. Been using this guy. Been using this setup here. So now today we brought out the Sony A7S2 to do the sit down stuff, so I can talk about this guy. So what's big for this on me is the convenience factor. For my content, my skits, my vlogging, it's got that flip screen action right there. Downside to the flip screen being there is you can't just put a mic right there, hence why I have a cage for this, to be able to put a mic on the side. Makes it a little heavier, but I like having a rig cage anyways, because when I do need to shoot something, I need to add some extra attachments, I have the options to do so. At first I was worried about getting a rig cage for this, because I was like, okay, how often would I actually use this as my main shooter? Let's say I'm doing some kind of commercial stuff, or I'm doing a wedding film. Obviously, I'd be using my A7R III, but in all reality, there's just no reason not to use this. Here's the thing, a little side rant. Yeah, there are a lot of crazy differences between a full frame Sony A7R III versus a Sony A6600 crop sensor. When you dive deep into the colors, resolution, the image that you receive, everything that you're processing, yeah, there are differences. But the majority of viewers out there, the majority of people watching, don't notice those things. And to be honest, I'm just so annoyed of people using the most tiniest advance of things to make an argument that you shouldn't be using this or you shouldn't be using that. If this camera was out 5 years ago, it would be the best camera on the market. No questions asked. So what changed now to where in 2020, it's not good? You know what I mean? It's not great because it's crop sensor versus full frame. That is just stupid. So in terms of this thing not being crop sensor, I would not put it on a lower level. I would not give it the lack of respect that it deserves. In the past 3 months, I have challenged this with run and gun. I have challenged it in low light. I've overexposed, I've underexposed, I've messed with different picture profiles, and this thing 100% competes with full frame cameras. Like I mentioned in the video, to be fairly honest, I don't even think for some people you need to make the upgrade to full frame cameras except for the one negative with crop sensor, which is lenses. Right now, there's just not a good variety of lenses, in my opinion. Full frame has definitely stepped up in these last couple years with Sigma, Tamron, and even Sony bringing out at least options in lenses. For example, with the crop sensor, if I want a solid all-around lens, like a solid run and gun, zoom, low light, sharp, fast, Sony's 16 to 55 f2.8, it's like $1,200. This Tamron 17 to 28 millimeter f2.8, for example, it's a good little run and gun. It gives me a nice option of wide angle versus being able to zoom a little bit. It's like $900 for a full frame. Sony, Tamron, Sigma, let's get some wider angles here. Let's get some more affordable all-around lenses for the crop sensor series. I truly feel like lenses is the only thing that's holding this back. Now people could say, oh, well, you can get an adapter and use other lenses for it. To me, that just defeats the purpose of having this small, affordable run and gun rig. This thing makes it look just obnoxiously big, and it's not that big. There we go. This, right here. When you're vlogging, this is what it looks like. I hold it here like this, and I vlog away. So if you see me vlogging with this camera, this is the setup. It's just simply that. There's not much to it. So by me putting a bigger lens on there, like it just defeats the purpose of the convenience of this being a smaller form factor, high quality, being able to compete with content of full frame cameras. Just make better lenses, make better choices, give us options. Damn it. Moving on, like I mentioned, I've tested this in multiple ways, both video and photo. And if there's one thing that I know a lot of people watching this video are gonna be interested in this for, it's for online content. Let's be real, there might be a few people that are interested in a second shooter and they're doing more professional work. And heck yeah, hopefully you learned something from this today, but I know my market. I know the type of people that come to the streams, that come to these YouTube videos. They're looking at this stuff to create their own content. And when it comes down to creating your own content, I think for the price range, this far exceeds any other options out there in terms of your full capabilities. To get technical, the facts for $1,200 for the camera body. So for like $1,500, $1,600, you can have a whole setup like this. And with that, you have this small body, a flip screen monitor. You have a long lasting battery life with the new Sony Z series batteries. These things are like 2.5 of what typical W series batteries. These are junk. Just look at the size comparison between the two. So you get long battery life, you have good low light, you have amazing autofocus, good color, you have good picture profile options, inner body image stabilization, full mic and audio jacks, HDMI out, lots of preset settings, time lapse. There's just so much in this camera. The only negatives that I could see somebody saying is it doesn't have slow motion 4K. Why does everybody feel like they need slow motion 4K so bad? You don't need it. Stop. It will come someday. It doesn't justify saying, well, I can't buy this amazing camera that creates quality content because I don't have slow motion 4K. So that will really ruin my content. Stop that. You sound silly. So this is some example handheld footage, what this vlogging ability is capable of. How neat is this?
Vlogging,
oh, dear God. My shoes are flat and this is clay. So for reference sake too, the lens that I am using for this is not stabilized. So the stabilization that you see here, and this is me holding the physical camera, the whole rig that you guys see, out on my hand as extended as far as I can. So the stabilization that you're seeing right now is what the camera is actually doing it. I mean, obviously I'm trying to hold it to the best of my ability, but one only downside about crop sensor, it seems to be a crop sensor problem when it comes to the Sony cameras, some other cameras out there. It's a thing called rolling shutter, and I wanted to show you guys this actually out and about because there's a fence out here and it's probably the best way to be able to display what the issue is. But again, it's one of those things where yes, it is something that the camera does that some other cameras don't do. And to a very professional stance, yes, having a rolling shutter would be annoying, but down to, again, why most people get cameras, why most people are buying cameras, it's not really that big of an issue to me with all the options that you get with this camera. So here is what rolling shutter looks like. Typically when you're moving back and forth, like that's just what it looks like. But with a crop sensor, there's a problem where rolling shutter, you see things get distorted. The fence seems to be wobbly. To be fairly honest, I really don't ever have a problem with it. I've never had a problem with that. Been in my footage, but you guys know how online reviews, comparisons are. When people find a flaw in something, it's something that people constantly poke out, so I wanted to make sure I did introduce that into this video. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to sell you on the idea of buying this camera. Again, I'm only telling those that are in need, that are in the financial situation and growing their brand to upgrade into something like this. For example, if I had a YouTuber friend that was looking to move on from his Canon 80D or his Canon G7X point and shoot, and they're, you know, making a full-time earning off their YouTube videos, and they're like, yo, what should I get? You know, we're gonna be traveling this year, I'm gonna be doing live streams, I'm looking for that just amazing all-around best option for me right now, I would 100% send them in that direction. But for somebody that's just like, hey, I'm looking to kind of make my introduction level into mirrorless DSLR cameras, I'd still recommend one of the lower series Sonys or even one of the Canon mirrorless cameras. But when it comes to Sony A6600, it's no joke. This thing is a beast, it's a powerhouse. To be honest, I'm shocked that it even exists because I feel like with this, it kind of defeats the purpose of a lot of people needing to upgrade to a Sony a7 III and going the full frame route. If you're somebody that is contemplating going full frame and you have crop sensor lenses and you've been using Sony for a long time and you're looking to make that upgrade and you're confused on which one to get, I would 100%, without a doubt, suggest you to save that $600 to $800 and get a Sony a6600 and stay crop sensor. I just personally, with my experience over these last 3 months of using full frame and crop sensor every single day, back to back, I'm not seeing a huge difference that would warrant a reason to spend hundreds of extra dollars to upgrade. All in all, like I said, most people looking into this camera are gonna be looking at it in terms of creating content. They're gonna wanna create their YouTube videos, wanna create their short films and travel. And when you look at social media compression, Instagram compression, Twitter, YouTube, that's where as a consumer, as a viewer, they're not going to notice the differences because you spent an extra $1,200 on a camera and flex that you have full frame. Just want to remind everybody that from time to time, you know, it is also about the content, not necessarily how fucking quality the picture looks. Okay, forehead. Realistic Sony A6600 review. Those are my thoughts on it. It's a beast camera, insane. I think Sony and Canon are making huge leaps these last couple years in terms of their equipment, the options. We are going to see a wild 2 years in upgrade. When we start getting that 8K, that 6K, finally people can get their damn 4K slow motion, we're gonna be blown away by what we can accomplish with the price. At the end of the day, these are just my experiences and my thoughts with everything. So I wanna know in the comments down below, what do you guys think? How do you guys use the Sony A6600? For anybody out there that's rocking the 6100, 6400, let us know in the comments down below your experiences with that, what you guys think. Let me know if any of you guys plan on actually snagging this camera. All the links in the description through Amazon are my affiliate links. So by you using those, I do get a little percentage of that. I'm not telling you to use my links, but it'd be gratefully appreciated. Let me know what cameras you are looking forward to moving into 2020. If Sony doesn't kick it up in gear and come out with that A7S III, that new Canon mirrorless that they're talking about, that's getting me ruffled up. Better watch your back, Sony. Canon's coming. About time you make a move. All right, gang, likes, comments, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Hope you guys enjoyed this plugin of Tech Tuesday. That's all I got for you guys. I'm out. Peace.